Welcome to the MMMORE podcast. I'm Ryan Mosier with Nicholas Manus, and we're back once again, back in black, and we're ready to get going. So first and foremost, I wanted to start this podcast off with mentioning that you should like, comment, subscribe, and send this to everybody you know, your fucking grandparents, your best friends, your enemies, your situationships, everyone you know. Send it around because we're trying to spread the good word and not Jesus Christ, which is the good word, but more podcast, more or less.
The more word.
The more word. So, please do that, and we really appreciate you guys being here. And I'm going to jump right into it, saying that Throwing Mitts is done, Nicholas. Throwing Mitts is done. It's reached its end, and I want to kind of explain why. It's a waste of time to study tape on these fighters. It's a waste of time analyzing the statistics on these fighters when all of the fights are rigged anyway, okay? It's a waste of my time. And if you don't want to believe me that all of the fights are rigged, that's fine. But here's the thing. Follow the money. Stories sell, okay? Stories sell, Nick. And it's just a waste of my time to constantly be rummaging through, their past fights and what they've been up to, when really you just have to follow the storyline, and that's where you're going to find the winners and such. What do you think about that? Is it a tough pill to swallow?
It is. We're sad to see it go, but it's all in good reason. Are you going to still make your picks? Are you still going to make UFC picks or no?
I'm not.
I'm not. He's walking away from it.
I'm completely walking away from it because it's just a waste of my time, I feel like. And I did spend a lot of time doing that stuff, and I loved it. I truly did. But now that I've pulled back the curtain and I see that it's all fake anyway, it's like, why don't I just make my bets, make my money, and do that instead of wasting my time writing all the picks down and posting them for people who probably aren't even tailing them anyway. I mean, I want to look up what my complete record was over the time.
You were doing well.
I was definitely doing well. I had an over 65% win percentage while I was in the thick of it. And I think it's like 2 weeks out that I've stopped doing it. So, my overall finished at 170 wins and 92 losses, a 64% win rate. And I think that's pretty good. I'm happy with that score. You know what I mean?
It's winning record. It's above 50%. You're not winning and losing. You're winning for the most part.
Exactly. I was winning, and it was fun. And it's bizarre because a lot of people that do study the tape and do study all the statistics, they're average anyway. You know what I mean? But I had a winning record, and I did believe that they were real. I believe that the fights were real. And now it's come to my attention that they're not, much like all professional sports. And again, it's a tough pill to swallow, but I'm here for you. I'll hold you. I'll cradle you, and I'll rock you to sleep.
And at the end of the day, it leaves more time for more.
Exactly. More time for this and the things I truly do love. And not that I didn't love that, but yeah, it's really bizarre. It's like once you open that door, you can't go back, Nick?
Yeah, right. Once you're waking up, you can't go back to sleep.
Exactly. Once you have seen the truth or know the truth, it's like if you fart, trying to put the fart back in your butt, it'll never
It's out
happen.
there. It's in the ether. It's in the air. People are smelling it.
It's impossible.
You know what I mean? You can't get that smell out of your, it's there.
It's impossible, dude.
Yeah.
It really is.
And since we're talking about UFC, I want to transition too. I mean, we went to a Buffalo Wild Wings yesterday, right? And we were having a great time. No, this was 2 days ago we went.
That's right.
And we had went there in hopes that we were going to get to watch the pay-per-view fight, eat our wings. We had some fried pickles. We had a really nice time. However, we asked our server, who did a phenomenal job, if I may add.
Shout out Caleb.
Yeah,
Caleb, Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, he really did the thing. He gave Ryan his flats. He gave me an Arnold Palmer. He served us well. He never rushed us out the door. And so, where am I going with this? We asked him to change the channel on the TV, and he said, no. March Madness has a contract with Buffalo Wild Wings. And so I guess that overpowers the UFC contract with Buffalo Wild Wings. So Dana White, if you're watching, if you're listening to this,
because he totally is,
you need to get this in order, because we went all the way out there just for this pay-per-view, and we were sitting there watching the fight on our phones when no other restaurant in town has it. I mean, this is a whole month that we are deprived of our UFC at Buffalo Wild Wings, and we were very concerned about this matter.
Yeah, it was kind of bizarre because, it's like this is tradition. I'm a big experience and tradition type guy, Nick. And And this is tradition. It's been known that the fights are always on at Buffalo Wild Wings. It's the place you go to see UFC go down.
Yes.
And when we go there, we went there with the intention of watching the fights and, really checking this out because we didn't want to pay for the pay-per-view. So we go there. And like Nick mentioned, the guy's like, no, March Madness has the contract with them and we can't change the channels, which is bizarre.
Because we're
not even
TVs,
one.
How many TVs they got here?
Yeah,
they got 50 TVs in there.
And on one of the TVs, they're doing a rerun of fucking one of the
Packers Dallas. No one cares about. Yeah, and then they got Keno. They got Keno on one of the TVs.
But Keno obviously has a contract with them as well. I can understand that, but the rerun of the Packers game outside of football season doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
And right here on the website, it says, watch UFC fights at Buffalo Wild Wings. So is this false advertising? Are we in rights to sue?
Okay, yeah. Okay, so we talked about last week about how there was a guy suing Buffalo Wild Wings because their boneless wings he claims they're boneless chicken nuggets. And we had determined that we are on the side of Buffalo Wild Wings because it is not their fault. It is the chicken council's fault. But maybe this is false advertising on their end because it clearly says on their website that you can see the UFC fights, and that is not the case.
So here it says every elbow, takedown, and knockout. Titles will be won, lost, conquered, and reclaimed as the top MMA fighters in the world fight to cement their UFC legacy. Every month is another main event, and there's no better place to watch UFC than here. With wings, beer, and TVs in every direction where the whole bar cheers for victory. There's nothing else like it. And I agree, dude. Like, you were there with me down in South Florida when Poirier and Michael Chandler fought, and Poirier got him in that rear naked choke. They're bleeding all over each other, and he tapped out, and the whole bar erupts.
Yes.
And everyone's going buck wild. I mean,
and the main event too when
Izzy and Alex Pereira fought.
Yeah, and Izzy was taking him the whole fight. Like, he was controlling the fight.
That's right.
And then Pereira just made him punch drunk like within 30 seconds, and it was just game over from there. And the whole place, like you said, erupted. And
so I do, like, it's tradition. It's like that. So it does look, they're saying next fight, UFC 287, save the date, April 8th, 2023, which is great. That's awesome. Cool.
And that does make sense. Well, now I'm kind of retracting our statement because it's like, okay, it says, isn't there a UFC fight every Saturday?
Yes.
Okay, so it's now the 20th of March, right? So the next one's April 8th. So that's, I'm assuming, when March Madness is over.
Right. But look, it says previous card, 286 right here. Catch all the highlights. See fight recap.
Okay.
So
okay, I'm not retracting my statement.
Yeah, we got this guy pulling forward, back.
Sure.
But it's just, it's interesting that they would do that. But I get it. You have a contract with March Madness. You have to do that and whatnot. I guess I was just kind of bummed out, but we still made the best of the night. We ended up watching it on my phone in the bar.
I had mild wings for the first time in a long time, and they hit so amazing. And honestly, those fried pickles were outstanding.
Yeah, dude, I haven't really been a fan of pickles in general, but then, they end up on your burger. You're too lazy to take them off. You end up eating them, and they're fucking good.
They're good,
I actually do enjoy pickles, and I was not a big pickle
And the
guy.
fried pickles, they weren't like falling apart like the fried breading.
Right.
And it wasn't like too crispy. It was like perfect.
It was definitely secure. They were nice.
And whatever that sauce was too was like amazing.
Yeah, they do have a good sauce, and they have that same sauce with their cheese curds. I'm a big cheese curd guy.
I love cheese curds.
Maybe not healthy, but it's good.
Yeah, no, cheese
It's
curds
certainly
are great.
good.
We went to a local watering hole down the street for St. Patty's Day, and we had ordered some cheese curds, and they were phenomenal.
Yeah.
St. Patty's Day, huh? Yeah, what a riot.
Yeah, St. Patty's Day was a riot. Do you want to get into it?
Yeah, I guess we can.
Okay.
For just, I mean, we don't have to like dwell on it, but
No, I understand. But just on the topic of food and snacks and stuff, I kind of want to jump over to the Snackalator real quick.
Okay, let's do it.
We're gonna share this tab and have people check this out. So this is an account on Instagram where basically they have the inside scoop. There's somebody on the inside releasing all of this information about all of these like cool niche kind of definitely unhealthy things that are coming out. So like, check this out. They take Cheetos freezing cold and Cheetos flaming hot, dangerously chilly and dangerously hot. So look at that. You know what I mean? So they take control groups and they'll go around to, give me a place anywhere in the world.
Freaking Boston.
Boston, Massachusetts, and they'll introduce, they'll introduce the signature eggs Benedict burger.
Ah, God, from McDonald's.
From McDonald's,
And
dude.
an over easy burger. Dude, that makes
sounds
me
like
think that like I'm gonna order it and it's just gonna be dripping all over my hands. It's gonna be all over my face. Like that does not sound appealing whatsoever.
it sounds like a hospital bed.
Yeah, literally.
It sounds like a hospital
Yeah,
bed.
that sounds awful. Dude, you know what's funny? I just had this thought, and it's like, okay, I just saw gluten-free Oreos on there, right?
Mhm.
Gluten-free Oreos. Okay, if you're gonna eat something bad, just eat it.
Yeah, right.
Just don't. They're trying to make it acceptable to eat these things all the time, when in reality, the gluten-free Oreos are probably not good for you at all.
Exactly.
And you should still be eating these things in moderation. So just like if you're gonna eat an Oreo, eat an Oreo.
Have the full treat, but it's just like with
dip it in the milk.
Yeah, exactly. That's tradition again.
Yeah.
But it's just like with Diet Coke and stuff like that. They say that's actually worse. It has more aspartame, which is making up for it being diet. It has more aspartame, which is literally a carcinogen in it. So the Diet Cokes and the Diet Pepsis are just, I mean, there's nothing diet about it.
They're no good.
Okay, but I do want to say on the term of this signature eggs Benedict burger from McDonald's, it headlined in Spain. You can get this in Spain, right? So I've heard that in like around the world, like here in America is like the worst version of McDonald's. Over there, like in France, Spain, Europe, and those places, McDonald's is actually like a nice restaurant.
For sure.
And they have shit like this where it wouldn't be so crazy to think that you would eat a signature eggs Benedict burger.
I feel like we both heard that information in middle school in Mrs. O's class, maybe or maybe not.
Who, Miss O?
Yeah, remember Miss O, the home ec teacher?
Oh yeah,
we
yeah.
used to make monkey bread in her class.
Yes, we did. Yeah, everyone would get a partner, and now you're making monkey bread.
And the thing is, like they market to like what French people like to eat, whatever French people like to eat.
Exactly, like a baguette.
It looked so good though.
The Red Hot Injector, injectable marinade. You can, I mean, that's actually not a bad idea. You get new innovation for turkey season. So it's like you take the Red Hot Injector and you put it in your turkey and you fill your turkey with it. And you inject the turkey with it and then bake it, and then now your turkey is red hot.
Okay, no, I like that.
That's actually, but I don't think that's disgusting. Some of these are fucking gross though. You know what I mean? Like the eggs Benedict burger is insane. I mean, seriously, no matter where you're at, you know?
Yeah. Rainbow Lays, Skittles. Oh no, God.
What? Skittles, Lays just dropped their latest fake flavor. Okay. And this is one that they would absolutely try. That would be outrageous.
Yeah.
But it was a fake flavor. The McRib Farewell Tour. McRib is coming back to McDonald's, but it's being called the Farewell Tour. Some McDonald's have them already, and they should be at all restaurants by October 31st. Obviously, this is not.
Wait, so the McRib, it used to be a thing?
Yeah, that's a thing. I don't think it's a thing anymore.
Okay.
3 mini potato waffles from McDonald's. Dude, but you know what? I can respect them getting creative with it at least. You know what I mean?
Who knows? They got to try, and if it's a hit, then they're going to make a ton of money off of it.
Right.
If it's not, they can just, they got enough money to where it doesn't matter. They can just throw it out, the idea.
Yeah, exactly. What do we got here?
Dude, we're speaking of cheese curds, bro. Culver's, bro. Their cheese curds, if I'm thinking the right place, like that goes crazy. But anyways.
Wait, you said Culver's?
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy Culver's too. I didn't know what it was until we got one here in Sandusky.
The Curder Burger. A cheese curd burger.
Have you had this?
No.
But yeah, this sounds insane. I had this last year. What is it? It's the Culver's Burger Deluxe with a patty-sized cheese curd on top. Dude, that sounds like a hospital bed.
Yeah, but that sounds fire.
It says the guy reviewing it says this is an easy 10 out of 10. Wow, dude.
That looks honestly like, okay, the look of it doesn't look that great, but I know that taking a bite out of that, like that trumps that egg Benedict burger.
Yeah,
that blows that egg Benedict burger out of the water.
I will be honest though. If we're talking about burgers, like McDonald's burger over the Culver burger.
Oh, McDonald's.
Yeah.
No. I rank McDonald's fast food top of the chain. Now, when I'm talking fast food, I'm not talking Chipotle. I'm not talking. There's levels to this, but I'm talking fast food, the foundation of fast food. The founding fathers. I'm going McDonald's, bro. Like I may have mentioned this before, but I get the same thing at McDonald's since I've I'm a little kid. Double cheeseburger plain, a 4-piece nugget, a small fry, maybe a couple of chocolate chip cookies, and medium or small.
Like you said, if you're gonna eat like shit, do it.
Right.
Go all in.
Exactly, dude. And then you get a little bit of everything. You're not eating a 10-piece nugget and a large fry. That's a lot. That's 2 hospital beds. All right?
That's 2 hospital. Dude,
Yeah.
I'll say though, the quarter pounder, that's a different beast. It's good.
I've never had a quarter pounder.
What?
Well, now here's the thing too. I've never had a quarter pounder, but I always get my cheeseburgers plain. Yes, because 1, I like them plain. 2, I don't like when the sauce is dripping all over the place. But 3, if you ask for a plain burger, they'll make it fresh. Because they'll pre-make the burgers with the, you know what I mean? So if I'm like, I need it plain, I might make their life harder, but it makes my life better. All right.
Makes their life harder, but my life better. Okay, Fritos, chicken and dumplings. Oh, that's a fake one. I don't like the fake. I actually want like something somebody got the balls to try. You know what I mean? Like, give me something they're all in.
Yeah.
If anything catches your eye, let me know. Because there was one that really had me going for a moment when I saw it.
Okay.
But we won't spend too much time on this just because I think we pumpkin spice chicken fries.
Wait, where is that a Burger King? Yeah, I don't do Burger King. I'm not a Burger King fan. That's like the whole hospital right there.
Yeah.
I'm not a Burger King fan.
No, I love it. But yeah, I mean, if I what the fuck, McDonald's chicken or onion rings?
Okay, that looks great.
But they've brought onion rings to one location, to a McDonald's in the U.S., but just to one location.
In Chicago.
Chicago features international offerings. Wow.
Honestly, yeah, I would go for some of those onion rings. Now, here's the thing. Onion rings, though, like, okay, I like onion rings, but if the onion's falling out of the ring, you know what I'm saying? If it's falling out of the breading, it's not good to me. It needs to, when I bite it, the onion and the breading need to come off. You know what I'm saying? Because if you like bite the onion and it comes out, then you're pulling the whole onion out and then you're just eating the bread. It's like, then
what are we doing here? What are we doing here? But the thing is before I used to be like team onion ring, and now I'm like, onion rings kind of suck dick compared to fried pickles.
Oh, dude, no, fried pickles are the truth. I'm happy you like fried pickles.
Yeah.
The fried pickle bandwagon up because they are really that.
So let's take a look at this last one. Cheetos has brought the Mexican street corn back for a limited time. Spotted at Walmart, and I remember these being out at one point. Wow, what do you think about that? Cheetos Mexican street corn flavor.
I'm here for that.
You'd like that?
I love street corn, and I feel like that street corn flavor and like a Cheeto crunch would go nicely together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I like it. Well, guys, if you want more cool snack ideas for all of your get-togethers, go follow Snack-O-Later on Instagram, and go do that. But that's tight. That's tight. I like crazy shit like that. Not that I would try it, but it's just like with the mischief stuff. You know what I mean? I like cool, just like trying something completely off the wall different,
Yeah.
Dude, there's actually this company that's kind of involved with mischief. I think they're kind of like some way or another involved.
Their founders might know each other.
Okay. So but this guy, he goes to like random places in New York and he does like interactive art. So it's almost like, do you know what geocaching is?
Geocaching. It's like an app, right? Or caching. And then is it where like it takes you somewhere around the world, like a certain like coordinate that you go to?
Right. Okay. So on your phone, that's randonauting.
Okay, yes.
But geocaching is actually like, it's an app on the phone. You open it up and there's an actual pinpointed place you go. And then it gives you a clue. And now you go to that location and you look at the clues and you're trying to find a small box, or maybe it could be a little thing that twists off and there's paper inside of it. Anyway, what it is all these people, they go and they sign their name there, and then usually it's like a give or take box. So you give something and you take something, and it's like a full day worth of fun and adventuring.
Okay.
So what this is interactive art. This guy makes like miniature like water towers, or one time there was like a crack in the side of a building and he fixed it with, he 3D printed ramen noodles and put ramen noodles. So he's like going out in public and like fixing things with cool art.
Okay.
And then he puts a small QR code at the bottom of it. And I don't know if you're supposed to take them, but like they're posted, because once they're posted, they're like there. You can go visit them and you can find them and scan it and then say you've been there on this virtual log.
Okay.
It's kind of interesting. It's really cool.
Well, maybe we should try that then. I've never done.
Well, it's only in New York. But we can geocache.
Okay, geocache. Yes. Okay,
We-
so
there-
we should geocache.
Yes, there's
Have you ever
geocache.
geocached before?
I have.
You have?
Yeah.
What'd you find in the box?
It's just like, people signing their names and small stuff. It's just like cool action figures and stuff like that. It's nothing serious, but it's like it's like fun thing to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Challenging, test your mind.
Yeah, adventure.
Adventure.
Nice.
But with the randonauting, we can get into that also if you want to.
Okay, I've never done randonauting,
Dude.
but it's like from what I think I remember it being is like, so you have a thought, right? Or you have like you think of something, or you put something out into the ether.
Yeah, your intention.
Yeah, your intention with it, and then it sends you to that location, and it's related to your intention.
Yeah, so the science behind it is that every single day we are stuck in reality tunnels, things we only do in our reality, based on the things we think we can do, or what we're comfortable doing, or what we want to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So basically opening up this app where it takes a quantum generator. Now, don't ask me what that means, but it's a quantum generator, and it gives you a true random location. So you put your intention in, maybe your intention would be laughter, right? And then you hit the button and it gives you a true random place based on your intention. Then you go to that place and people have really odd occurrences of, running into, it could be a clown mural, you know what I mean? It's like very subtle like that, but like, a clown would make some people laugh. Like, You understand? Mm-hmm. And by doing all of this, you are stepping outside of your reality tunnel of work, home, TV, the things you do every day. Instead of being in that pattern, you go to a location you would never normally go to. And so you're experiencing something new. You're pulling yourself out of your old reality tunnel and essentially into a new dimension where you're doing something you would never have done. So now you're in a new dimension of the reality in which you did this particular thing. Does that make sense?
Yes,
or do I sound crazy?
No, absolutely, because you would never do that thing. So you're in that same routine. It could be routine or like I forget the other word I'm trying to. It's like a loop, loop. You know what I mean? You're in that same reality loop that you do. You get like how people get up, they have their coffee, they go to work, they come home, they watch TV, and then that's all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they're in that same loop. So this, in a sense, gets you out of that.
Yeah.
And it gives you that other, adventure as well.
And in turn, I'm not even saying like just for the time you're out, you're in another dimension. No, like you are now in another dimension because you have done something to completely throw off the pattern of where you were.
Okay, gotcha.
Does that make sense?
No, yes, I understand.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So it's really cool. And that there's an app for it. I believe it's like a golden owl is what the app looks like. Go check out Randonauting. I'm telling you guys, this is all just fun. And then it's almost like a social media feed too. People will put like, my intention was this, and this is what I found. And they post photos. Some people say we went there and we were followed. You know what I mean? It can get a little creepy too. It's like,
since we're talking about dimension jumping, there used to be an exercise I used to do to like break bad habits.
Yeah.
So it's like you have 2 glasses of water, right? Or no, you have 1 glass of water and then you have an empty cup.
Mm-hmm.
You take a sticky note and you put it on each glass, right? So it's like maybe on 1 glass I'll put smoker, and that's with the glass that's full, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll put non-smoker on the empty glass, and then I'll take the glass that's full and you dump it in the glass that's empty, and then you drink the glass, and then therefore you have jumped into the reality of non-smoker.
Yeah,
you know
the 2-cup manifestation method, bro.
Yes, yep.
That shit's hard. I love that shit. Seriously.
Hard as in tough.
Hard as in tough, yeah.
Grit.
And the first time I heard about that, I was reading the book Holographic Universe, where they talked about how everything in this universe is malleable, to the fact that all the particles that make up this island, that make up that flag behind us, that make up my hat, are only solid when being observed.
Okay.
And so when I'm not observing, when I'm looking this way and I can't see behind me, in hindsight, all of the particles are just waves. But obviously you're observing them, so it's like as soon as you look at them, they go to their solid form, right? And they close up into the object, right?
Okay.
But when you're not observing them, obviously we have 2 people in the room, so you can imagine we're observing almost the entire
thing. But if we're
thing.
both looking this way, then everything behind us is wave.
Right, but we're still
so
observing
looking at that. Okay, gotcha.
But,
or maybe if we look this way.
yeah, exactly. But if we look this way, then everything behind us is just waves of of the ether, and as soon as we turn to observe it, that's when that's where reality lies.
Okay.
And yeah, this book, Holographic Universe, is really, really interesting. It's Albert Einstein's protege and another quantum physicist who basically bring up this theory, and they were laughed at in the scientific community.
As every single scientist
Seriously,
is. You know, every single scientist that's ever put forth information ever.
Yeah, somebody's got something
sucks.
to say.
Oh, and it's just like I don't know what this is exactly called, but it's just like the followers, the following, the collective will be like, no, you're wrong, you suck. You know, I mean, people in history have even been killed for, you know, claiming certain things. Like years ago, years ago, when the church had said something that wasn't in stone, and someone went against the church, or not even God in a sense, but just like how the earth was flat and now it's round, and then stars, and you know what I mean, and like how the earth used to be the center of the universe, and then the sun. You know what I'm saying?
And one guy had to make that step and get laughed at. But then it became accepted. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You have to allow yourself to go out on that limb and take the pushback. You know, it's that thin line between genius and absolutely batshit crazy.
Right.
You know, I had my last thought on this. My last thought on this is that they ran an experiment where they took salt. They went to a bowling alley and they took salt and they laid it across the bowling alley. Right? They laid it. You know, the bowling alley's this way. They laid it this way. What is this? The width?
So it's
width and length. They laid it across the width, a line of salt, and then they took a bowling ball and they rolled it down the thing. They rolled it down the lane. They rolled it down the lane, observing it, and so then when it went through the salt, it left an imprint where the bowling ball rolled through.
Okay.
The next time they reset it, they put the salt down. And they rolled the ball, and everyone closed their eyes. Nobody observed the ball going down the lane.
Okay.
And it went over the salt and down the lane. And when they observed the salt, there was no imprint in it because they didn't observe the ball going over the salt. It didn't have an impression.
And they were certain because it went down the middle. It knocked the pins down. Or did it knock the pins down?
I mean, I don't know if it knocked the pins down, but it surely wasn't a gutter ball.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah, and so it's that I just remember that sticking out so hard when I read that. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
And I don't know if this was in that book either, but I heard or I saw a theory on social media or on YouTube during some sort of podcast maybe. But they were talking about how they took 3 control groups, right? And it was like one group lifted their finger like this, right? Uh-huh. They lifted their finger like this for a certain amount of time. And then they had a group that didn't do anything, right? They didn't lift their finger.
Yeah.
And then they had a group that would think about lifting their finger.
Yeah.
So the group that did this, their finger increased by 50% maybe. Mm-hmm. The group that did nothing, obviously their finger didn't grow at all. But the group that was thinking, that was visualizing their finger moving up and down without moving it, their finger grew 20% over that time period.
Yeah, that's a Joe Dispenza experiment. He did that, but they did full body workouts where he said, now they had one group doing curls, and then they had one group doing nothing, and then one group just thinking about doing curls all fucking day, and they were stronger than the people who were actually doing the curls.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow,
dude. Yeah. So here, combine the two. Do the curls, and this is where it's very difficult to do. But I always wear headphones in the gym. I'm kind of zoning out of my workouts.
For sure.
And I'm just like, I'm doing the work physically, but I'm not there mentally thinking about the work. If I took out the earplugs and I was completely present in that moment of me, going through it, thinking about how difficult these reps are, and actually just putting myself in that place of turmoil to the point where, I'm so present. Imagine how strong you would be then if you're thinking about it while you're doing it. You know what I mean?
And I find that honestly, if I close my eyes now, I'm no expert, but I'm just saying when I close my eyes and I work out, like let's say I'm doing curls and I'm closing my eyes. If I'm looking at myself, right, and I'm fixated on what it's supposed to look like, it might take away from the actual feeling of it, right? And so if I'm closing my eyes and I'm working out, not only am I doing the motion, but I'm focusing in on that certain muscle without having to look at it. So like if you just, for an exercise, close your eyes and think about your chest, you can feel the energy in your chest. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. And so imagine you're closing your eyes, feeling the energy in your chest, and then you're doing the workout as well. It adds to just adds to our points.
Yeah, certainly. And like I said, it's not an easy thing to do because I've made you turn around multiple times to get my earbuds when I forget them. You know what I mean? Because that shit's hard to do. It's hard to be just like completely present in the moment while you're running a 7-minute mile and you're sweating your tail off, barely able to breathe.
Mhm.
Sometimes you just want to hear Eminem's 8 Mile.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Straight up.
You just want to hear I'm not
lose
afraid.
yourself.
You know what I mean? Lose yourself, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can be difficult, but I think that would be really beneficial if we started maybe adding that into our routine. But
okay.
we can look into it.
Experimentation.
But I want to talk about my experience at Soul Stretch.
Okay.
So there was a free yoga class that I went to with my mother, Nick, and his mom, and it was super wholesome. It was incredible, and it was fun, man. It was like, first and foremost, I felt amazing that my mom asked me to go. You know what I mean? My mom, it's kind of, not something she would normally do. And so when she asked me, I was like, of course I'll go. I would love that. Let's do this. And so we went, and it was amazing. It was just like, I went there. Everyone, it's not like I knew everyone, but I felt very welcomed there. And I felt like everyone there, I could feel the collective energy, just
the community behind it.
The community behind it was fantastic. And I really, really enjoyed it. You know what I mean? Can you feel a huge butt coming here?
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead.
So I really, really enjoyed it. It's actually not a butt. It's just I was so happy with my experience at Soul Stretch, right down the road here, that I started to begin to look at, why couldn't I get into yoga down in South Florida? Obviously, Selena was a yoga teacher. Mm-hmm. She worked at a yoga studio. I mean, and a little bit of her, she wanted me to get into that community so bad that it kind of pushed me away from it. And also, dude, down in South Florida is like, they say it's one of the biggest health and wellness communities, this and that. But dude, everyone's a fraud.
Yeah.
Everyone's a phony down there. I swear to God, it's all for clicks. It's all for likes. It's just so fake. And I think I could feel that going in, because I went to a couple of yoga classes and I didn't have anywhere near the experience I had at Soul Stretch, where it's just wholesome. Nobody's wearing Gucci and Louis Vuitton yoga pants and shit like that. It's like, and even if they were, like, that's fine. But I'm just saying, here at Soul Stretch, it wasn't about your image or anything. It was more just about the community and the whole experience. And I absolutely loved that. And I just really pondered, what was it about this experience and what I couldn't receive down in South Florida, which is supposed to be the biggest health and wellness community.
For sure.
And I think I just see through the fact that a lot of people are just fake and doing it for the image down in Florida instead of really being about it for the actual thing that it is.
It just felt so real to you. Mm-hmm. It felt so real, like the connection with other people, like the workout itself. The thing I love about yoga is, and it took me a long time to get into it as well. Like my mom, and I got into it like obviously a long time ago. I got into it and I was like 16 or 17, and my mom, she would ask me to come to classes with her all the time. And of course, like, she thought that I would like the energy behind it and everything like that. But it's, also like my mother trying to spend time with her son and do something that she likes to do. And so for so long, I had this narrative in my head where it's like, only girls do yoga. Oh, it's stretching. Yeah. Oh, it's easy. And then you go to a class and you experience it and you're like, holy shit. Like, wow. Like, that was way more than you expected it to be. And obviously, like, it's different because it's different based on where you're at and who you're doing it with and the class. It's different. You know what I mean? You don't really know what you're getting yourself into. You're just going.
Yep.
And I was just very grateful and blessed to have ended up at Soul Stretch for my first couple of yoga classes. And I just really fell in love with, not only is it a workout, but it challenges you mentally and spiritually. And you get into this community of spiritually awakened people, and then you dive into other realms such as quantum physics. It's all interconnected into itself. Yeah. And I think I'm very into how this world works and just the whole spiritual realm of everything. And that's why yoga calls for me. I just absolutely love it very much.
And something that struck me that one of the teachers said was, everybody who's there added to the energy. If one person was missing, it would be a completely different experience.
Absolutely.
And that plays into the fact that no yoga class is the same. Every single one of them are different.
Yep.
Every single one that you go to is completely different. And I think that's awesome.
And it challenges you in that sense to lose your attachment, to let go of your past experiences, to take every experiences as a new. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
that yoga class will never be the same as this yoga class. Even one step different, even one breath more, one breath less, one less person, everything changes.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing I love about it is that they encourage it's your own practice, right?
Right.
That's why I love the closing eyes thing. I mean, yeah, I'd like to do it in weight training as well. But when I'm closing my eyes and I'm doing yoga poses, I'm doing yoga moves, it helps me focus on the feelings in my body rather than what everyone else around me looks like and what, because if I am a beginner yogi and I'm comparing myself to the instructor or other people who have been there for so long, not only am I going to get discouraged, I might not be even doing the right thing for me because I don't feel it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just love like the authentic, real, your own practice, and just the whole energy that surrounds it. And that's yeah.
Yeah, I fucking enjoyed it, man, and I was really, really happy with how it turned out, and I think I even talked to Selena about it after the fact of like, why couldn't I subscribe to it down in Florida? And you know what, it found me when it was supposed to find me.
Exactly.
It was all the timing. No matter how much I go because this other person wants me to go, until it's the right time for me to be involved with this and it to grace its presence upon me.
Yep.
It's just not going to work out.
And that's in everything though. You know what I mean?
True.
You don't force yourself to do certain things. Let it sometimes come to you. Let the universe be like, okay, you are ready. And that comes to like with books too. It's like you have all these, some people just buy all these books. They just go to the store, they buy all these books. But sometimes I like to, if I'm in a book and someone recommends me a book or I stumble upon a book somehow, I'm like, okay, maybe that's the book I'm supposed to read now, And I actually thought, now this is going on a different topic. There's a guy named Ryan Holiday, and he talks about stoicism, and he's a stoic, and he writes books about like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius and all that kind of stuff. And he talks about how the fact that people don't finish books are not always on the reader. It's about the author as well. Yeah. Because if you're the author, you're supposed to make your book captivating. You're supposed to pull the reader in. If you have read a book and you're like, oh, I read this book in 6 months. Well, maybe the author didn't do that great of a job at keeping you pulled into the book. Don't you have experiences? I know I do, where I'm reading a book and I can't get away from it. It's like I'm ready to read the book. I'm excited to read the book.
It's almost addicting.
Exactly, right? And that's how you know the author did his job. So Ryan Holiday goes on to say that like there's sometimes I don't read all the way through a book. I stop reading books because like he says that most readers don't finish books all the time because they go into a book and they're like, not every book is great. It's a book, but it's just like the same as a website, right? The .orgs, the .coms, like what is real good information? What is going to pull me in and be captivating? And I'm going to be able to actually apply that information rather than just words on pages.
No doubt. I'd never thought about it like that, because you always pity yourself. You're like, damn, I've kind of just bailed out of that book. But in hindsight, I mean, sometimes it could be that the author didn't do their job and whatnot. Yeah, that's really interesting. And I'm trying to think about, all the different books that I've started and not finished, but also the ones that I completely did finish. And the ones that I did finish was because I truly,
you could feel that.
I could feel that shit. Yes. And it's not like the ones, and then there's some that I did finish that it was like, as soon as you can't wait to get to the last page and be like, all right, done. You know what I mean? You're doing it almost as like a chore.
Right. It's like, and you're going through subconscious reading. It's like you're just skimming through the page and you're thinking of something else. But sometimes it's like driving, how sometimes where you start thinking and you're like, oh, wait, how did I get here? I wasn't even paying attention. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's same thing with a book. You could be going through a whole page and then it's like, so I find sometimes when I'm reading the same paragraph over and over and over again, because I was lost in thought, one, the book may not be that interesting. Maybe two, I just need to put the book down and come back to it later.
Yeah, because you're not ready to absorb that information potentially. Yeah, that's really interesting.
All good stuff.
All good stuff. All great stuff. And on the topic of great stuff, there's balance, and there's as great stuff as there's also shitty stuff out there. Not so great stuff out there. So I kind of want to talk about a touchy subject being that Russian players are deciding not to wear the Pride warm-up jerseys in the NHL due to Vladimir Putin signing anti-gay laws, right? So if they wear the warm-up Pride jerseys, they could be subject to prosecution in Russia when they return home in the offseason. And I'm going to pull up a tab here so we can kind of read about what's going down. Let's see. All right. Anti-gay laws passed in Vladimir Putin's Russia are having a chilling effect on whether NHL teams decide to wear rainbow jerseys on their LGBTQ pride nights because of fears for their Russian-born players. And essentially, it just gets into how Vladimir Putin is affecting how the NHL is playing their games, which is nuts. Under Putin, Russia has become more and more anti-gay, passing several laws that restrict rights for the LGBTQ people. The most recent law, passed in December, makes it illegal to spread propaganda about non-traditional sex relations in the media, advertising, movies, or on social media. It's part of Putin's hyper-nationalist push to blame the West for what he sees as importing LGBTQ views and infecting pure Mother Russia. That last line, infecting pure Mother Russia. That's just comedy.
Just super pure. Yeah. He's a freaking idiot.
5% of those who have played in the NHL. Okay, 5% of those who have played in an NHL game this season are Russian, so their concerns can't be easily dismissed. The law is written so vaguely that it could cause trouble for a Russian player wearing a pride jersey. And given what happened to Brittany Griner last year, don't put anything past Russia when it comes to enforcing laws. And then the next quote just says, these are legitimate fears. That's all I want to say. Now let's discuss it, because here's the thing.
Are all these Russian players, I wonder if they are like, okay, if I'm a Russian player, it sucks because it's like these Russian players maybe living in America to play the sport they love, and maybe or maybe not, they support these, not support Russia in a sense, but they're supporting the LGBT community, and they want to, speak up. Like, it's okay to be like this. It's okay to be gay, and they can't even go back to their home.
If that's the case.
Yeah, right. That's fucked up. It's like, it's just fucked up.
Yeah, I understand. But I mean, I think if I moved to like another continent, if I went to a completely other continent, I'm part of that continent now. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Wherever you left from, you can't really keep holding on to that because you're in it. But I understand.
I wonder, do the Russian players go back and forth? Like, if I'm Russian, do I live in the United States during hockey season, and do I go back? I'm sure there's both sides of that. So
going into this season, Kirill Kaprizov, there's this photo there. He plays for the Minnesota Wild. It wasn't even about any LGBTQ stuff. It was about the war. He went back to Russia, and they almost didn't let him go back to America because they wanted him to fight in the war.
Oh, wow.
So it was like pulling teeth to get him back into the States to play. They didn't know if he was going to play this season
because he was going to be in Ukraine.
Yeah, doing that stuff. So it's really interesting just how, I guess, like, I mean, it's where your loyalty lies for, like, if you never plan on going back to Russia, you're in America now, you're playing hockey, then that's one thing. Then it's like, who cares? But if you do, like, you got to think these guys' families are over there,
right?
Their loved ones and that stuff. So that's where, it'd be more.
I'm buying them a plane ticket and I'm getting them to the United States.
Right.
I'm not going back. And it's like, okay, even if I did love my home, now there's a psycho running it who is invading Ukraine for whatever fucking reason. If I go back, he's going to make me go and invade them for his own personal agenda. It's all about what it's just him. It's this little man, little fucked up
I'm
man.
sure it's more than one guy. Well, actually, I don't know. Russia is just one guy.
It seems like it's just him. That's what is making it seem to be. And however, there is propaganda in the United States media as well. And I'm not going to get into that, but I'm just saying it's fucked up, and now this guy, it's like why would he even want to go back? You know what I mean? Like,
well, like we said, his loved ones, his family, his people, that's where it's like difficult to walk because it's like, I'm fucking living in America now. I'm making millions of dollars. Fuck it. I don't need to go back. But then you got the only thing that's holding you back is your family and your loved ones, your culture.
If I didn't have anyone in Russia that I knew, I would wear, it's just, if my family isn't going to get it sucks because it's like, if he wants to support this cause, he should be able to. It's like, okay, if I want to go to California, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I get high.
and
I want to smoke some weed, right?
Yeah.
Because it's illegal in California. And then I go back to Ohio and it's medically legal here, but it's not recreationally legal. They're going to fucking arrest me for doing something in California.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, first of all, the law that Vladimir Putin has is fucked up, right? but let's say it was a different law, just in general, right?
Right.
I'm not affecting your country whatsoever by doing it in America. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Like, there's
exactly.
nothing that I'm doing that's affecting anything that you got going on there. If you are controlling the media and using propaganda against this stuff anyways, you're not going to let any of your citizens see that anyways. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So again, it's just this guy who's just got these personal hate
I think that's too much, man. It's just too much, bro. I couldn't even imagine giving a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, about people from my country over in another country. Like, don't you have shit going on?
Yeah, right. Literally, like, first of all, you give a shit about who people have sex with behind closed doors. Like, it's none of your fucking business.
Right. I think it's more or less just the fact that he doesn't want how it's been pushed upon everyone here. He doesn't want that precedent to be accepted over in Russia. Right. So I think he's just trying, like, tooth and nail, like clawing at the idea that he doesn't want that to come over here. And
which is unrealistic, though.
He may not have problems with, okay, obviously signed an anti-gay law. Now that sounds like he's got a problem with who is having sex with who behind closed doors. But when it comes down to the propaganda of it being pushed to children and people in school without their consent, really, I think that's where he doesn't want that to become a precedent in his country.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like there's a new law that got passed, I guess, in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the new period law?
No.
Okay, so you can't talk about periods if you're a girl until like you're 16 in sex ed class.
That's insane.
You can't talk about what your body naturally does in Florida until you're certain. That makes no sense.
Well,
that doesn't. It irritates me and frustrates me that who is to say when or when not you can start talking about certain things.
Okay, I see it right here. Florida. Okay. Oh, 17 hours ago.
Yeah, this is very new. This is like new.
Okay, let's share this one. Let's look at this. Oh, I wouldn't want that.
Before 6th grade. That's just like...
Okay, Florida considers ban on discussion of menstrual before 6th grade. Planned Parenthood advocates say the absurd draft legislations regarding periods would present a reductive and binary view of sex. Now, let's read into it for just a moment.
Okay.
Because who are they banning the discussion of menstruation before 6th grade? Who are they telling you can't talk about this?
Girls with that in periods. Like
okay.
Their period.
But girls before 6th grade don't know what they are, so they're not talking about them. The only people who know what they are and are going to bring it up to young girls are adults.
Okay.
That's all I'm just saying. I'm just saying the ban would be on adults talking to young girls who are nowhere near having their period.
I think it's okay.
You can't tell a young girl she can't talk about something she doesn't know what it is. Florida lawmakers are considering a draft law to strengthen state control over sex education that its sponsor says would ban any instruction in schools about menstrual cycles before 6th grade. The proposal comes as Florida's Republican-dominated legislature, backed by Governor Ron DeSantis, has already passed a raft of laws limiting discussion in schools of gender and sexuality, and reducing the emphasis on diversity in public schools. I don't really understand that paragraph. The latest proposal from Republican Stan McClain would allow instruction in acquired immune deficiency syndrome, sexually transmitted diseases, or health education only in grades 6 through 12, generally meaning for children aged 12 to 8. Okay, let's read that last part one more time. The latest proposal from Republican Stan McClain would allow instruction in acquired immune deficiency syndrome, sexually transmitted diseases, or health education only in grades 6 through 12. Okay. Typically, girls have their first periods between the ages of 10 and 15, but some do as young as 9. Okay. Mm-hmm. Imagine a little girl in 4th grade going to the bathroom, finding blood in her panties and thinking that she is dying. State Representative Ashley Gant, a Democrat, in a video posted on Instagram. She doesn't actually know what's going on, and the teacher does not even have the ability to tell her that this is part of her life.
Right.
Okay. I'm just going to keep reading.
Okay.
So if little girls experience their menstrual cycle in 5th grade or 4th grade, will that prohibit conversations from them since they're in a grade lower than 6th grade? And asked the woman, and McLean responded, it would.
I think instead of banning things, like people try to ban. How about you have a group, right? Of it's optional to join in.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm a parent, right, and my daughter is had her first period, right, I want to enroll her in a class that educates her about these things.
Right.
Whether or not she talks about that stuff in and out of class, who cares? All we're trying to do is getting them the right education to understand what's going on. So why ban talking about it instead of giving them resources to better understand?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? People think that by just like saying no, people are gonna stop. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the drinking age, for example. Now this is a completely different thing, and I'm not advocating for or against the drinking age, but it's just like by telling kids they can't drink alcohol,
right,
and by putting restrictions on it and putting them in jail or putting them on probation because they have a beer, really? You think that's going to stop them? First of all, not only is it fucked up, it's not going to stop them. It's just going to create more. It's like when your parents tell you not to do something, what do you think about doing it?
Yeah, you want nothing more than to do it.
Exactly. So it's like they're setting them up
right
to just get in trouble.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Based on the drinking, right?
Well, and it seems like
the ban's only for adults talking to children about their periods when they're in school. So if a girl, I mean, there's a lot of ifs, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If she goes to the bathroom and has her period at school, that's one thing. If she has her period at home, she's going to talk to her parent about it. The parent should be talking and educating the child about it.
Yeah, but it's just weird for me to think like if I'm even in the dude's perspective of things, mm-hmm. It's like, well, what if like little Johnny has like a wet dream or something like that, and he does maybe what if kids don't feel comfortable talking to their parents about things? What if kids come from a home that's abusive and destructive and like not good?
Right.
You know what I mean? What if they're neglected and they look forward to coming to school and they look up to a teacher that's a good influence on them that can talk to them about these types of things?
Like I said, there's a lot of ifs, but also what if the teacher is a predator? You know what I mean? You see a lot of,
for sure, right.
You see a lot of these, teacher had sex with a 13-year-old boy, teacher had, sex with a 15-year-old girl. And now in the education system, there are a lot of predators.
Right.
And who it's not like and there's a lot of ifs, but I don't see there's a lot of cases of the kid coming to the teacher and being like, hey, I had this weird experience. It's the teacher asking the kid, have you ever had these experiences? Because I want to hear and talk to you about them.
Right.
And that's where the line gets messy, because it's not like the kid is like genuinely curious and like had the experience. It's the adult is trying to pull these little fantasies that they want to imagine in their head out of the children. You know what I mean?
Well, now that's fucked up. Now,
right.
It seems as if we go back to the bill, is this directed towards girls too, which is even more fucked up, because it's like, why are we isolating girls in their periods when it's just fucked up to me. Right, let's go back and look at it.
The bill okay. Where do we stop? Okay. He defended the bill as a way to make sex education more uniform statewide and give parents more leverage over curricula, and later said he was open to amending it. Media reports said the bill passed the subcommittee by 13 votes to 5. So the bill passed. Planned Parenthood decreed the legislation, saying it would take total control from local school districts in approving sex ed curriculum and give it to the State Department of Education, while presenting a reductive and binary view of sex and stigmatizing LGBTQ students. All right, that is not really the information we're looking for. We want more on the bill. This bill shines a bright light on Florida's political leaders' perpetual thirst for power. She said in a statement, calling it ridiculous to ban young students from discussing periods with their teachers. So yeah, the ban is but the way they put it there, to ban young students from discussing periods with their teachers, when I think it's to ban teachers talking to young students about their periods. I think that should be flipped.
Right. It just seems like a very but at the end of the day, okay, but where does this even stem from? You know what I'm saying? Like, where is the evidence
Well-
to show that this is an issue in schools? You know what I'm saying? Where
Well, because
Wait.
what's happening now is these teachers, these like extreme democratic teachers are telling these kids at a very young age, you're not a boy, you're not a girl. And so that confuses the shit out of them. And then all of a sudden, so basically what they're stemming from is like, you shouldn't be talking to the kids about their sexual identity, even if they are gay, even if they are lesbian. That's great. Let them make that decision. You can't, you shouldn't be telling them you're not a boy, you're not a girl. And where do you lie on the, what is that called?
Right, on the gender scale, polarity scale or something like
Yeah,
that.
where do you lie on the, whatever that's called?
Yeah, male, female gender polarity scale.
Yeah, the teacher shouldn't be telling students that or even talking to them about that.
Okay.
And I think that this is trying to, I mean, it's kind of, it's like, here's that conversation, and this is a little bit over here about the periods, because there is definitely an argument for, you know, if she does go to the restroom and she has blood in her panties, then it's like, what does she do? You know what I mean? She's got to fucking talk to somebody.
Is it like, is the bill like history teacher, or is it like there's a school nurse, right? So like,
right.
Should be able to, if the school nurse should be able to.
I think no doubt somebody's got to help her.
Yeah,
like somebody's got to help her.
Still need some help, man.
Yeah, somebody's got to help her. I just think it prevents the teachers from bringing up these things to the students, because, like I said, unless it's brought in their reality, like racism, you know what I mean?
Right.
Unless you're taught to be racist, you have no clue that people hate black people hate Asian people. You know what I mean? Unless you see that behavior from an outside force.
Exactly right. You just, if you've never heard of racism before, then you're just going to approach other individuals regardless of color how you would approach other individuals.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. So if
which is like, there's obviously racist people out there, but this is why we talked about the other day about how the media pushes the racism agenda, because they want to keep pulling us apart, keep us
make
divided.
us weaker.
Exactly.
Right. And the last point I'll make about it is, if you never know what being non-binary is, unless you feel that in your bones, you know what I mean? And that's something you may understand later in your life when you're not in 6th grade, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When you're actually like have grown to understand what those feelings could mean and that type of stuff. But unless that's not brought in your reality, you might not ever even
why create that anxiety in a child if they don't know about it? If I'm a little kid, right, and I'm a boy, but I feel more in touch with my feminine and I feel more closer to being a girl, then by all means do whatever you feel you want to be. You know what I mean? But if I'm a boy and I'm a child and I'm a boy and I want to be a boy, right?
Yeah.
Then what if my teacher's like, oh, you're not a boy or a girl? Then it's like, it creates this conflict within there. Obviously it's okay to change and be who you want to be, but why create that anxiety on a child? You know what I mean?
Right.
When they might not even know, you know what I'm saying?
No, for sure. And I agree with that. And there's even theories out there that they're pushing all of this kind of transgender type stuff. And I've got nothing against transgender people, honestly.
Right.
Truly.
No, people can do whatever
they want. This is just a theory that they're pushing the transgender agenda so that more people are getting the transitions and unable to have sex and reproduce. Because if you listen to our last episode, the biggest rebellion you can do against the government is buy a big plot of land and have 10 kids with your beautiful wife. You know what I mean? They don't want you repopulating because that's more people that they have to figure out a way to control. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so that could just be it. But this is a pretty heavy topic. We can jump over to the sharing the search bar bit if you'd like.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Hell yeah. So this bit, you guys, we're going to share the search bar. What we are going to do is essentially we're going to play, what is that? What's that?
Search bar or something, right?
Yeah, search bar. Yeah, but it's like, what is that when you enter, there's a sentence and then you enter in words? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Anyhow, we are going to do some wacky searches and see what information we find when we type it in the search bar. So go ahead and give me the first word, Nicholas.
First word, sticker.
Oh. Sticker of.
Sticker of mole.
Sticker of mole.
Okay, no. Wait, let's begin.
You can do it just of maybe the
foot.
Well, if you say foot, it kind of ends it because I can't do anything after foot.
Oh, sticker of short.
Sticker of short history. And then we
Short history.
short history. Okay, these are Amazon stickers. I want to do sticker of the year. I was trying to get you to say the so I could say year and see if there is a sticker of the year.
Okay, then we can go back. Okay, fuck this short history of the
of the
I love how this turned into 2 bits in one. Like, what is the sticker of the year? Oh, just the literal year.
Oh, fuck. I thought like this wins the sticker of the year.
Click award.
Where?
No. Like, go type in award. Sticker of the year award.
Ooh, this could be fun. Let's look up awards. Like, what's something you would want to win an award for?
Okay. Dude, it's kind of crazy because I just saw. I think my grandma was watching E.
Entertainment Tonight. E News.
Yeah, and they were talking about the guy with the longest tongue, and he can like lick his eyes and touch his forehead.
Should we look him up?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
World's longest tongue.
Yeah.
Is that him?
Yeah, that looks like him. Yes.
And here we are at Guinness World Records. Man with the longest tongue in the world laps up new record title. I thought it'd be longer, really.
Oh, you know what he does? He paints with his tongue. He will put a plastic wrap on his tongue, and he'll dip his tongue in paint with the plastic, and he'll paint with it.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, the paintings are like, they're not.
They're not good.
They look like children's paintings, like little kid paintings, but it's interesting to say the least, I
guess. Nick Stobert, the Salinas, California, USA resident who already held the record for the longest tongue male. Whoa, I'd like to see the female. Has just added another title to his collection after breaking the record for fastest time to remove 5 Jenga blocks with the tongue.
Does he create this record and then like if I create a record like fastest to clip my toenails, you know what I mean? But it's never out there.
Like a child's painting.
I told you, bro.
Bro, really, dude? Wow. It's me. Paint me like you paint your French girls. This guy's sick-minded. I want to see the craziest world records. What do you think about that?
All right, go ahead. Yeah.
More podcasts, everybody.
More. Yeah. More information. More records.
I like it. 10 of the craziest world records ever attempted. Being in the... Okay, fuck. Let's just get to it. Most watermelons chopped on the stomach in a minute. And he's got the blade of the sword pointing into his abdomen. Would you do that?
No. There's nothing about me that wants to do that at all.
Because here's the thing. If you're going to...
Do I get how much money? I mean, do these people get some sort of money?
I think they do. We'll look that up. How much money does a Guinness World Record? How much?
And I mean, there's got to be some records that are valued more than other records. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. But here's the thing. It says most watermelons chopped on the stomach. So a chopping motion is like this.
Yeah, like
not even like a slice. Which one's more dangerous? A chop or a slice when you're at your abdomen?
A chop.
I don't know. I think a slice.
But if you're slicing, you're going like this. Oh, because you could cut.
Yeah, because then you're like actually slicing. Because if you chop, you could. I think
it might just give it a little cut.
Right. Instead of like slicing and then you fucked up and went too deep and now your guts are on the ground. That'd be a sorry sight, dude. Okay, so let's remember that one because I think we have to pick one that we would do by the
Okay.
end of this.
Okay.
Biggest swarm of bees accumulated at a time. So this isn't even a person. This is just a beehive
Right.
that owns
No, the
Guinness
guy who
World
won the
Record.
picture. The guy who won was the guy that took the picture.
Yeah,
Had to.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's definitely the bottom of my list for wanting to break the record for that. That would be painful. Dude,
Wow.
look at that, bro. That's like, I mean, wow. That's
Okay.
just,
Gao Bingo, a Chinese bee farmer, set a new record in 2015 when he had 1.1 million bees covered
his body.
Covered his body in 2015.
Wait, so that's his body? Go up. I mean,
somewhere in there. But here's the thing: who's counting 1.1 million bees?
Literally, how are they doing that? But let's keep going.
All you have to do is get the queen on your body, and the bees will come. Okay, let's talk about that for a minute because
you gotta be wearing some type of suit, right?
Well, yeah, you would think, but also, did you saw Jackass 4? Remember he put the bees on his ball sack, and he had a long thing of bees hanging from his nuts.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's mandatory that they wear something, but
there's got to be some type of there's probably one without something on and with something on. Because
seriously,
they get with something on, it's probably more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, more. The thing is being like with the guy chopping the melons, you're in control. You know what I mean?
Right.
With this, you're kind of out of control completely, and now you're. How the layers of bees, you know what I mean?
I mean,
and
that
now
could
you're
kill you, right?
What about
if you get stung by that?
I think so.
It could definitely kill you.
And then what if you're like, okay, fuck this, or something goes wrong, and now you're in a pile of bees, and you can't be like, hey, help, what do you do?
You're fucked.
Yeah, you're fucked.
Well, maybe if there's a pool nearby, you jump in the pool.
And you just hold your breath under the water
until the bees are gone. All right, let's go to the next one.
Okay.
Please.
Longest time spent while on fire. Where's the photo of this guy? Huh?
Yeah,
this is a drawing.
That's AI drawing.
What the
fuck?
Straight up.
Let's see what the record is. 5 minutes and 41 seconds.
Joe Treadling, a stuntman, set the record in 2017 when he managed to stay aflame for 5 minutes and 41 seconds. Oh, here it is. Oh. That's not it.
I've never done this, but I hear you can spray Axe body spray in your hand and light it on fire, and it'll be on fire, but you won't feel it.
Right, and then once the gas burns off, fire goes out.
Yeah.
Let's read the rest of this. The record is for specialists only, though, as you have to apply an accelerant on yourself and ensure the fire is put out once the accelerant before your flesh becomes the fuel. So yeah, just like you said, he put a ton of stuff on him.
Axe body spray.
And as that burned off, into the ether. That's interesting. So based on the three we've seen so far, covering yourself with 1.1 million bees, chopping watermelons on your gut, and setting yourself on fire for 5 minutes.
I might do the chopping so far.
Shit got wild, huh?
Yeah, right.
I want to see how many melons he chopped, though. 64 melons on his belly.
Wow. I want to see his stomach after, but maybe we can check that out after. But on to the next.
Most kicks in the nuts.
Yeah.
Now, this is interesting.
I'm picking the B one over this one.
Okay, so Sachin Solansky withstood getting kicked in the nuts continuously for 30.32 seconds. He holds what most would call the most painful Guinness World Record ever held. Well, here's the thing about that. I mean, how many kicks did the guy get in 30 seconds?
Right. What if I'm like, one,
yeah, his buddy's taking his time.
2, and how hard are these kicks?
Exactly. This is very interesting. And look, he's just on the side of the road.
And how do I know he doesn't have a cup on right now?
Well, there's actually to get the record, you have to have a person from Guinness World Record present.
Oh, okay.
Like they come around with a clipboard. I've seen it.
Clipboard. All right.
Dude, actually,
what record have you seen?
Well, when I was younger, me and my brothers tried to set the record for the most, the longest time throwing a baseball back and forth, days and nights.
Okay, and how many days?
We didn't do one.
You didn't throw one. You didn't throw one baseball.
Well, continuously.
You just talked about, hey, should we break the record?
Because you can't drop it. So there's not only physically are you doing something, but mentally you have to catch that shit and you have to send a good throw. It's much deeper than you think.
I believe it.
Dude, let's fucking do a world record.
All right, we'll chat. Okay.
After this, we'll figure out what world record we'll do.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
On to the next.
So, yeah, that's interesting. Longest time spent while buried alive. Fuck that. This record was tragic in 2012 when a man got killed before he could set the record. Well, technically, the record's still going.
Yeah.
Oh, well, longest spent alive. It was not sanctioned by Guinness World Records because they considered it dangerous and reckless endangering of life. Janka Basanka, a Sri Lanka man, had family and friends bury him in a 10-foot trench at 9:30 a.m., hoping to be exhumed alive at 4 p.m., but he didn't make it. He was trying to break a previous record set by people whose graves weren't sealed up. His was sealed up, so he couldn't get out.
Oh, wow. Wait, I wonder, like, okay, wait. I wonder, if I make a call or a walkie-talkie, like, can that, you know what I'm saying? Like, they should be checking in on him.
Right.
There should be some sort of communication.
And that shouldn't break the record just because you have a walkie-talkie.
Oh,
you know what I
no.
mean? You should be able to have that.
Well, duh. Yeah, it's like, okay, what if you... I'm going to leave him there for 2 days.
I'll leave him there for 2 days. Well, think about this. The longest time spent while buried alive, he was trying to go from 9:30 to 4. So how long is that?
Okay, so 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, 2:30, 3:30. That's 6.5 hours.
Wow. So it's like not even that long of a time.
Well, it's because you don't have, I mean, there's not enough air.
You're right.
Oxygen. You know what I mean? You can't breathe.
Hmm.
You die of suffocation. Anyways, on to the next. I'm not doing that one. That's for sure. Dude, oh my God.
It's so crazy. The first one, like, fuck that. And then all the ones after that were like, I think I'm doing the first one.
Straight up. Straight up.
Okay, we have most bikes ridden over while laying on a bed of nails. Most bikes ridden over while lying on a bed of nails. This record is actually 70, set by Burnaby Orbox in 2015 in what was seen as the craziest world record ever attempted by anyone. Now the bikes didn't even have to run directly over his skin as they got a metal bridge for that. But 70 is still huge, and surviving it unscathed is a total miracle. Now, how long did this take? You know what I mean? Like 70 bikes, and was it one bike going around and coming again, or was it 70 fucking bikes at once?
Yeah.
Because if you got to sit there and he goes over and you're like, fuck, you know, and now it's not just all at once, 70 all at once. Now that's a long time to be in that pain state and having a bike go over you.
Yeah.
In the mental capacity of knowing that it's coming around again.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And
no, it would have to be like doom, 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 doom.
Exactly.
Doom, doom, doom. Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, fuck that.
And then at one point you're like, fuck it, I'm done. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you can break it. You can stop.
Yeah, like, so they obviously know what the number is. They got to know what the number they got to beat is.
Yeah.
So I guess that's how do you go one over? Or do you go two so nobody breaks it? Or do you try to go for as long as you can after?
I mean, you just go. I mean, just fucking just whatever is the fastest thing to get those things. Literally.
Fastest time pushing an orange with your nose for a mile. Dude, we could do this.
Oh, yeah. 22 minutes, 42 seconds in 1 mile.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, a world record is a big thing. So someone decided to set this record. The trick is getting the roundest orange you can lay your hands on and the most perfect terrain you can get. The record is 22.42 seconds set by Keith Furman, the first regular name we've had, aka Ashrit. One of the most famous stuntmen in the world. Someone is bound to break it soon, though.
Because you're not running, you have to. I wonder do I have to keep it right there, or can I go?
No, yeah, I think you can do it with your nose. But here's the thing: if you're looking, because it's time, there is a distance factor, but there's a time factor. Okay. So you kind of have to be. You can't just fucking get wild with it because now it's rolling everywhere. I think I would do short and small and go like just keep it almost
some
there.
Sort of strategy to it.
Yeah, for sure. Interesting one. That one doesn't cause pain. Well, actually,
it's gonna hurt.
It's gonna. That's gonna hurt.
That's gonna hurt. You're gonna be fucked.
Okay. The most layered bed of nails sandwich.
What's up with these nails?
Yeah, they love it. They can't get enough of it.
What about like jelly beans? You know what I mean?
Now Guinness World Record calls this the most layered 1-inch bed of nails sandwich. But whether it doesn't make it any less crazy, it involves people laying on top of one another with a board fitted with nails sticking between them. The nails are on your chest, so the pain cannot be avoided. The number is currently 9, set by Vispy Collard, an Indian daredevil, and his team of martial artists set in 2019.
Wow.
Fuck. The highest free fall jump from space.
This was the Red Bull commercial, right?
I think.
Yes.
Wow. Falling from the atmosphere over 135,000 feet above the ground is just too dangerous for anyone to attempt. The record was set by Alan Estach, a Google engineer, in 2014. The same record was previously held by an Australian daredevil, Felix Baumgartner, in 1966. Nick Pendarrington, an untrained astronaut, attempted the jump, but it ended tragically.
That's the one I would do first.
That's the one you would do?
Yeah.
Why?
Why not?
You're fucking really high up.
You just jump and pull a parachute.
But
Once you jump, I mean,
you don't have to do any more work.
right. And it's like, is it painful? Is it really painful to jump from?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I think that'd be dope. Like, I honestly, like, that is a totally different animal than skydiving, but I've always wanted to skydive, and I'm not afraid of heights, and I love jumping off high surfaces like cliffs and all that type of stuff. That's a completely different animal, but
I'll skydive with you.
Yeah, okay. Or skydiving. All right.
As we continue. Longest distance thrown in a car accident.
Like out the windshield?
This is weird. On the morning of October 26, 2001, Matthew McKnight stopped to help accident victims in Monroeville when he got his car hit himself. The car was traveling about 70 miles an hour, but it somehow managed to throw Matthew in 118 feet, a record Guinness World Record had to include because no one had ever been thrown that far by a car, not as if anyone records. After dislocating both shoulders and breaking more bones than he could count, the poor man lived to tell the tale.
Wow.
And that's that.
Definitely not doing that one. Yeah, I'd have to say the one I would do the most is probably that jump. The nuts kicked one, definitely don't want to get kicked in the nuts, but like I feel like the bed of nails in the motocross bikes riding on you, like
that's intense.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with this one. Fastest time pushing an orange with your nose for a mile.
Nice. Okay.
Let's do this, dude. Let's fucking conquer these world records.
I need to figure out how to get into space and jump out of it.
I love it. Dude, well, what do you think? Should we end it there?
Yeah, dude, that was a great light topic to end it off of. And,
I agree.
Yeah, we'll keep you guys updated for what kind of Guinness World Records we attempt. We're going to be doing not painful ones, hopefully. I'm sure there's a whole other realm of like non-painful ones.
How long consecutive we can throw an egg back and forth without it breaking. Obviously, can't drop it, but we just throw an egg back and forth.
There's probably a certain distance that we have to be set. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And then, dude, we call up fucking Guinness World Record saying we're ready to break this shit.
Yeah.
Have you seen that episode of iCarly when they want to break a world record?
And then what's his face
ruins it up.
Yeah, but then he gets the record for like robot built or something.
Yeah,
like that. The record they wanted to do was longest episode, and then they take the ice bath.
Yeah.
They take the ice bath.
The power goes out.
Yeah. Because of the robot.
Yeah.
And then the record holder's like,
hold on a minute. And then somehow she falls in love with Spencer.
Yeah, literally.
Anywho, this has been the MMMORE podcast, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, send it to everyone you know. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. We really appreciate it. And we've got a lot of really good things coming. So stay tuned and we'll catch you next time.
See you guys.
Peace.